Hi, welcome to a short little kind of mini update about health issues in San Diego County that are relating to kind of childcare and early childhood education programs. I've been doing this little mini update like this. I'm literally doing this the Friday before the module starts, so I can bring you the most up-to-date information. I've been doing this since 2021 because 2020 it was just all COVID all the time, right? And we were mostly still in lockdown and things like that. But every year I've been talking about kind of COVID rates and other kind of communicable diseases and infections that might be going around. This year, actually, it's 2025 now. So this year, actually, COVID, like we get a fall spike every year, but I think kind of things have been holding steady. And we also kind of can't COVID is now just part of our landscape. It's kind of our new normal. It's something that we get boosters for and are aware of and talk about. I think maybe we all thought in 2020 oh, it's going to go away and we won't have to worry about COVID anymore. But now it's just kind of something that we're really kind of always going to have as we're thinking about childcare and early childhood education is COVID and how does it affect our programs. Actually, we have two kind of bigger issues this fall. So last fall, actually, I was talking 2024, I was talking about RSV, which was really bad, and COVID as well. We do have a new variant of COVID this year. I don't remember what it's called. I would have to look it up. But they call it the razor throat variation because you get a terrible, terrible sore throat. We actually, my kids just brought home COVID about 2 weeks ago because they started back at public school. So they're in eighth and fourth. And yeah, they immediately brought home COVID and they passed it back and forth and we were all kind of at home quarantining or having fevers on and off for a few days, but we're all recovered now. I am actually, so last year was all RSV, adult RSV, and then child RSV. So I was talking about that. This year, I am going to go ahead and share my screen because we are actually kind of talking more about another kind of issue. And that is, why are you not letting me? There we go. We now are looking at kind of two larger issues. One that's statewide, actually the entire nation, and that is measles. So measles has kind of popped up ever since January. There was kind of a mega outbreak in Texas, and there has just been increased measles activity all throughout the United States. And so we are one of the counties that has had, so yeah, along with Los Angeles, Long Beach, all of these places, we've had some pretty significant measles activity. And it's very, very, very contagious. So that's why we're kind of bringing it up. So if you speak, cough, sneeze, breathe, measles can be transmitted in that way. It's actually more contagious than COVID is. And so this is the information from the state of California all about, so this is our Department of Public Health, and this is all about measles activity. And so I wanted to show you guys this. So you could go to the Department of Public Health, which is just good to have a bookmark as a director or somebody who's kind of taking leadership in early childhood education, is to have a bunch of these sites kind of linked somewhere or on a bookmark or something like that. It gives you information about like international travel because doctors would be more interested in that. That's what they ask when you go into your doctor's appointment. Oh, have you traveled outside of the country? Then it kind of gives us some history as well. It also gives us information. There's a measles toolkit. There's a letter, which I kind of wanted to show to everybody, about school measles exposure letter. If you have had an exposure, public health is going to contact you most likely, or you should contact them. So community care licensing, public health are going to be involved. I have not heard of any child care related exposures in San Diego County. I believe that it happened in San Bernardino this year and also in Los Angeles, but two I haven't heard. If you have heard, please let me know. Send me an email. That they haven't had to send out like exposure notices to child care centers yet, but they do give you a kind of letter template that you could use in English and Spanish as well. If you do have any large communicable infections or diseases or anything like that. And this could be Kawasaki's, fist disease, like slapped cheek. That's the other name for it. Or like the bigger ones like measles and things like that. You're going to have to notify the parents that are in your program. Always give licensing your analyst a call and just be like, hey, we've had this. And then they'll either send you a form or they can kind of advise you better on what next steps to take as well. If you were something serious like measles, mumps, rubella, chickenpox, any of those types of things, you're also going to want to involve public health and licensing, or they might contact you first. Like public health would be like, hey, there was an exposure at this public school and you have after school kids, something like that. But they would be the kind of larger governmental agencies that would help us to be involved in this as well. So I wanted to kind of give you this information. Next, I'm going to go to TB, because TB is actually more of an issue in San Diego County. And this is kind of held true. Some of our kind of border region counties always have more of an issue with TB, and also because of the presence of our military and people who are traveling a lot from internationally also come through San Diego. And it typically is, so this year it's quite big within our homeless population or unhoused populations. And so we have had more kind of cases this year than we have had previously. Why do I bring this up? Because actually San Diego County, which I'm going to share this next screen with, has guidelines for this within the state of California. So community care licensing definitely has information about this. And if this outbreak grows more, that's something that licensing is going to have to get involved. Because it can also be part of our foster, in addition to like unhoused people, it can also be part of like foster care and those types of situations. So if you're like working with at-risk or vulnerable populations, you do need to be kind of more aware of this. But typically, community care licensing in San Diego County have similar guidelines. And what they kind of want at this point is like if you work at a child development center or child care, obviously within 60 days, you get your initial kind of exam. Sometimes it can be just a screening, but a lot of times it might be that skin exam as well, where you go in and then 3 days later you go in as well. And typically they want a negative skin test or a negative chest x-ray. My dad is one of those people who has to get the x-ray every year or every time he goes in for the screening because he was exposed to tuberculosis when he was in the Navy himself in the 1970s and 80s. So he was one of those people that has to also get that kind of negative chest x-ray. But negative skin test or the x-ray or something like that is something that we want to kind of have. So I wanted to pass this on. So this is our educational code, and it's part of our admin code as well. So just kind of understanding the fact that we have many codes that we have to be part of. We have our community care licensing, who we have the most kind of relationships with, but San Diego might issue their own guidelines because Sacramento is not necessarily responsive to every community's needs. And we've always had more of TB exposures than other places, and we're currently dealing with a lot more than we normally do. So it's important that we are kind of aware of educational codes, which would definitely impact us, and health and safety codes, Title V codes. All of those codes kind of apply to us in addition to community care licensing. So I just wanted to pull this up for you guys as well. But otherwise, I think this week is all about health and safety and creating really good, healthy environments for children. And part of that is being aware of what is currently going on in our communities. That's why I do this so close to the module starting. And then also public health, community care licensing, educational codes, regulations, and kind of things that we need to be aware of so that we can continue as leadership to provide the best possible healthy and safe care for our children. All right, thank you so much. And I will see you guys more later on.